Okay, welcome in. We are going to be covering today how I completely shifted my business. I'm sharing one of my big secrets to growth with you, how I was struggling to make a consistent 5,000 a month and then went over 20, over 30 and have kept going all because I took pause. I took just a step back and re-looked at my offer and did these very specific three things. This is not one of those videos that I'm upselling you to anything else. I'm literally going to tell you everything in it of what I did because I'm watching people struggle in the same space I was when I went through this 5 years ago. So if you're sitting there going, I don't know if it's my audience. I don't know if it's my message, if it's my offer, if it's my ads. Is it my voice on video? I had one woman ask me that. So you're spinning in all these little things it might be, well, then those aren't little, but you're spinning and trying to adjust all these little things across multiple places. But if you step back and fix your offer and make sure everything is in alignment, then those other things, half of them fix themselves by doing what we're going to go through today. And the other half will be so much easier to fix because you'll have such clarity around what you need to fix and how to fix it. So think of it this way. If you were running the best ads on earth and had the best message ever, and it was running all of this traffic to an offer that people didn't want, it still wouldn't sell or convert. So you want to make sure your offer is where it needs to be for people. And so that's what we're going to do. Hello, my name is Jasmine. I am a social media sales strategist and I work primarily with organic content. I've been doing this for 17 years and my clients get an average of 40% increase in their sales through those organic strategies. And I'm able to do that in large part because of this offer I'm going to talk through today of how I created this offer. So, 5 years ago, I had a very real problem though. 5 years ago, my business wasn't growing. It had stalled. Sales were inconsistent. I felt like I was dragging people to get them onto sales calls. And when I did, they didn't convert. They were just awkward conversations where I was trying to do all that BS of follow a sales script or here are the objections. You're going to have all these answers for these objections. All of it felt cringe, gross, slimy. I hated all of it and I sucked at it. Um, I didn't really believe in what I was selling. I didn't believe that I could guarantee the success of what I was selling because the level of success my clients would get would depend on the level of package they bought. If they bought a small social media package, they would have small results, right? So it was this very frustrating thing of I almost don't think some of those smaller packages are worth it. I don't think a 15 post a month package it's not going to get you the sales and the ROI and your money back that a decent size package would. But I appreciate not everybody has a budget. So it was this awful space I was stuck in. So I was like, you know what? This all sucks. I'm going to take a step back and I'm going to create the perfect offer, the perfect package for small businesses that are struggling. And that is why I'm able to have results like this for my clients. So all three of these screenshots, actually these data screenshots are all from 7 days of views. So we've got my 400 view LinkedIn person over here on the left, 200,000 views on LinkedIn, and then almost a million views on TikTok all in 7 days. And I happen to love these screenshots because you can see very quickly where I took over the account and how it shifted. Right. So that's some pretty great numbers. Facebook, this happens on other platforms as well. I've got 500,000 monthly views on one of my clients' Facebook pages. This other client in 3 days had a video get 10,000 views. This is all because I restructured my package. And I'm going to talk through that today to show you how I did that. So 5 years ago, I realized that I had been following the industry instead of leading in the industry. So 5 years ago, I'd already been in social media 12 years. I was by all accounts an expert. Yet when it came to my offer, how I was selling, what I was selling, how I was interacting with clients, I was following the standards of my industry. But the reality is the industry of social media was letting our clients down. And I talk about this a lot in my content. You'll hear me say it. The social media industry has set you up to fail. They have set you up. They're sending you packages that limit how many profiles you can post on, which means if a new one pops up, you have to pay extra or you can't experiment on things that are kind of up and coming. Like let's say when Substack was kind of starting to get some traction a couple years ago, you wouldn't have been able to play on that and start building and then been able to get that organic boost when a bunch of people went over there because you weren't there. So you're always a little late to the party on new platforms and new trends. Post bundles are almost always 15 posts, 30 posts, or 60 posts. This makes no sense to me. Not every business, some businesses can do everything they need in 30 posts, but with a couple of extra added like viral videos or other pieces, But just to say 60 posts will get you the sales you want, it just doesn't work that way. It doesn't make any sense. It's too formulaic. It's not custom enough for what people need. And then everything is extra. So like video editing, blogs, all that stuff, all the fun stuff is always extra in these packages. So here I was 5 years ago in an industry that was letting our clients down. My business wasn't growing. And I took a step back and I was like, okay, instead of following, I want to really think about this objectively. I want to step out of the box. And what I realized was that social media packages were putting managers first, social media managers first, instead of the businesses they served. And I bring this up not just to talk about social media packages. I'm not trying to drag social media packages. That just happens to be what I do. I'm bringing this up because I bet your industry is similar. That when you put together your coaching or your whatever packages for whatever industry you're in, you have looked at your competition and found a middle ground based on what you're seeing other people do. So I want you to do this exercise instead. I want you to sit down. This is what I did. I sat down and all the complaints that I would hear from people, either clients or just watching conversations online or in LinkedIn groups, Facebook groups, on Reddit, all the complaints people had about social media, I put those all on a list. I don't even have a list here. It's pretty extensive. I was afraid to show it to you because I thought it would be too much text on the screen, to be honest. It's a lot. So I put together all of the complaints that business owners have about social media. I put together a list of all of the blocks, looking back at my past clients, like 9 months, a year, 2 years, looking back and seeing, okay, like I would go to their actual socials. I didn't just look back on them. I would say, okay, I had this client 9 months ago. I'm going to look through all of their socials now and see how they're doing and see what they're missing and look for what the break is, what stopped them from being more successful today the way they should have been. So I went through all of those blocks, all those pain points, all of those complaints, and I made a very, very comprehensive list. Then I went through and said, okay, what are the non negotiables? What are the things that are required for a business to have success? And I made that list. This again is a partial list, but it gives you that idea. Um, Too much time. People were complaining about social media takes too much time. They hire someone and then they spend the next month doing 5, 10, 15 hours a week on their social media, filming videos, meeting with their team, helping their blog article writer, or maybe they write the blog article and they send it to somebody else to tighten up. So they're still spending all of this time. And so many business owners were telling me, I'm not a social media person. I'm not a content creator. I am a business person who uses social media as an avenue to connect with new clients. So I need to be able to hand this off. And when I say hand it off, hand it off. I need to be able to do that so I can focus on what I actually do. I saw that people needed multiple posts a day across different platforms. One of the big complaints was business owners saying, well, I didn't see these comments or these DMs for a couple of days or a couple of weeks, and I'm leaving leads on the table. So they didn't have automations, which I made a requirement. Many of them didn't have automations. And then many of them didn't have anybody watching or responding to actual activity on their threads. They can't check in every day, all day on all their channels and keep up with it. So they needed somebody to help with that. And they had to have SEO, have to have hashtags, have to have short form video, have to have these things in order to be successful. So I made that list and plus viral trends on top of all that. And it had to be the right price. It had to be affordable. And I created my package with every single one of those pieces on it. So all the content from 1 hour video a month. Well, it's actually not even a month. It's a 100 post package. You're not stuck to a month. That's the other thing. Some people use this package over 3 months. Some people use it over a month, which is the high visibility option. That's why I did it that way. That's kind of how it's designed. But there's no requirement. There's no sign up. There's no subscription. There's no hidden fees. There's no upsells. There's SEO. There's video. There's blogs. It's all the stuff. So when you're looking now at a social media package and you're looking at the normal one of, okay, I can get 30 posts and a blog article would be an extra 25 to 50 or to 100 a month. And then video is another 500 a month. And it just starts adding up. It gets very close or similar to this number, even above the number that I charge for my package. Plus you're piecemealing it together. And plus you're still missing some of these pieces. So this becomes an easy yes package, right? So when I did this, what I really was saying was instead of having a social media manager system, where there was a system specifically for the social media managers first and what worked for a social media manager before anybody else, I made a system that was for businesses first. It puts their needs, their priorities, their pain points, their struggles, their results first. I'm going to break down how you do this, right? That's why we've gathered here today. So, this is your breakthrough plan. I want you to map out every client frustration, dig into what's really costing them time, money, and momentum. What is really holding them back from being successful? Then, number two, define those non negotiables for success. What do they need to be consistent? What kind of results are you looking for? How you measure it? How can you get some clarity around that as well? And define those two pieces. And then you can move into step three, which is designing a system that doesn't exist yet. That's what I had to do because it doesn't exist because you just created this whole package. It's not something that's real or exists anywhere else. You have to design the internal structures. And so for me, I tore apart my whole business from the inside and then rebuilt it from the inside out. And that took me because I did rounds of testing with test clients, with some of my like top clients, where I was like, hey, I'm going to try this new system of how I create it. So there's going to be, a 2 week delay in getting your content out or whatever. And I tightened up this whole journey, this whole process for them. And so once I had that perfect offer, I had to create that perfect internal system, right? But what this did was when you do what it does for you is if you do those three things, you map every client frustration, every block, you define what are the non-negotiables that have to be in what you're offering and what you are giving to your clients, and then you design a system that doesn't exist yet, you now stand out completely from everybody else. You're not worried about blending in. You're not worried about being confused with somebody else. You're approaching things completely different and you're showing us from jump that you are more strategic, you are more of an expert, you are more elevated in how you are approaching the problem solving that you are doing for somebody. You become the only choice. You become a clear standout choice. You now get to own the conversation and lead in your industry instead of saying all the same stuff everybody else is saying. This actually opens up a wild amount of creative marketing as well. If you've ever looked at Super Bowl ads and been like, oh, I wish I had more marketing like that. This positions you for that because you've moved out of the herd. You've stood outside of what everybody else is doing. It puts you in a unique place to really grab attention with your marketing as well and your messaging. It's an offer that sells itself. I have people legitimately just call me and be like, I didn't know you offered this. I just found it on your website. Do you have a spot? And that's without me ever telling people about it. I had to switch the auto purchase because I was getting too many clients. I got so many clients that I had to take off the option to buy it because I'd wake up in the morning and have 2 or 3 sales of $2,500 because like, yes, this is the thing. They'd go through all of my TikTok, they'd look through all my videos or my YouTube or whatever it was, and they'd go through this package and be like, yes, this is what I need. Yes, sign me up. This kills the guesswork. You're no longer wondering if it's your audience, your offer, your messaging, your posts, because you've taken your audience and made an offer perfect for them. So your offer and your audience are done. Now, when you're posting on social media, now you're creating posts that are testing message to see what works, what resonates, what doesn't. So you're building connection, building awareness. You start keeping those clients for life because they've got something they can't find anywhere else and you get to scale without stress. So this is a huge shift. And again, 3 steps. So I am sharing today because, like I said, I'm watching people really struggle with this, especially people who have been in business for under 3 years. You hit this point where you're doing okay for a while and you're growing your business and you've got the learning curve and you're building your stuff. And then you hit this kind of plateau that's very frustrating where you're like, I don't know what's not aligning. I don't know why I'm not scaling above where I am today. This is why you're not scaling. This is how to get there. So I hope this was helpful for you. And if it was, make sure to click follow and subscribe because I will start doing these every week. And I'm going to break down things just like this, no gatekeeping, in depth, short breakdowns to make sure that you can move your business forward. So thank you for joining and drop any questions in the chat.